Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. This particular video, we are talking about College Hill Celebrity Edition. It comes on BET Plus. If you don't have BET Plus, that is okay. Just come watch the reviews, and I'm gonna fill you in on every episode. Okay. Before we get into it, please do not hesitate to click that thumbs up button for me. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you hit that bell so you will get notifications of upload. Share the video where you like to share your content. And let me know what y'all thoughts of this particular episode. I thought it was a pretty good episode. Also, if you're looking for more reviews of this show, check out Miss Kira Speaks, her channel. She is currently also reviewing College Hill Celebrity Edition Season 3, and her reviews are very great, very thorough. So if you need more of a recap, also check her out, okay? Support all of the YouTubers out here because we are growing channels. Anywho, let's get into this episode. So basically, I believe the episode had picked up where they left off, where Saucy was going off about where is his baby, where's his baby, where's his baby, where's my mother effing baby. He mad at Nick because Nick came home laughing and smiling. Nick was like, I can't tell you who took the baby. Everybody's not home yet. Claudia, he said, Claudia, you don't give that energy. You would take the baby. She's like, no, I don't give that. I'm like, she actually does give it because she did it. So Claudia figured like, okay, let me fess up. So she took Saucy outside and told him she thought it'd be fun to pull a prank on him and take the baby. The baby was left, as we saw outside. We're on the table. And Saucy went to bed. Now he said, oh, she was sleeping and I was sleeping. Like, if it's your baby, you're making it like it's your real baby. Wouldn't your baby be in the bed with you, in the room with you? So now the baby left on the table. Oh, the baby's sleeping. Okay. Anyway, Saucy is a mess. Saucy, get it together. Anyway, but he's entertaining for sure. So Claudia's trying to tell him, like, I thought it'd be funny, that'd be cool, da da da. So he's like, okay, bet, got you. So he's getting up. She's like, no, come back. And he's like, no, bet, I'm a Libra. You better keep your eyes open and all that. I'm like, oh my god. So anyway, I don't know Libras should be vindictive, but I don't know. So y'all let me know in the comments. Anywho, so he in the house, man. He's like, oh, I know she's still a mother effing evil Knievel B and all this stuff. And as soon as I let my guard down, and I thought we was turning over a new leaf and all that. So they had a heart to heart, and she said, you know what? I was scared about meeting you because I know we had our stuff on social media, and we did need to have this talk. So I'm glad we're having it, and I did want to clear the air with you. I'm glad I got to meet you. You're really dope. Like, it was just a joke. The house is boring, and I truly do apologize. So Claudia apologized. They made up. She said, let's exchange numbers. Like, I really want to be cool with you. I don't want no problems. And that was that. So I'm glad that Saucy accepted her apology. But I'm like, Karlos was guilty too. Like, doesn't Karlos also owe an apology in this situation? But anyway, moving on. Claudia said, her and Karlos had a pact that they would not rat each other out. So I'm sure that's why she did not throw Karlos under the bus in this moment and mention his name. All right, so I believe next, and they're talking about, they got all this homework to do. They got all these assignments they got to get done. I think at some point Karlos came home because remember he had to stay after school and talk to the professor. And so him and Nick were talking, and Nick was like, dude, I was trying, you was, acting out of control now. I was trying to tell you, calm down, trying to tell you get another together. Like, I know you got feelings about this, you take your feelings out of it. Karlos is like, that's the problem. I don't have any feelings when it comes to this. So Nick and Karlos is getting very much brothers, and Nick is a nice guy because he could have really went in on Karlos when Karlos got home. Because remember how Karlos was trying to step to Nick last episode, but they were cool. They kind of went back and forth a little bit about the whole homeless thing, policy, and all that, but that was it. Anyway, I think everybody's talking about getting that homework done for poly. They got the homework for all the classes: poli sci, philosophy, all that. All right. So then the next day they're getting ready for school. Karlos is like, okay, come on, we leaving. He's like, I'm not responsible for nobody. So again, Saucy's taking forever to get ready. And so they're all in the van. They're like, okay, where's Saucy? And so Tamar's like, okay, let's just open the door, tell him we're leaving. Because they're like one band, one sound. And so Nick said in his confessional, like, Saucy, he's his own person. He got to do all the things, but we are one band, one sound, and his behavior does represent us and all that. And so I do appreciate how this season seems to be more of they're trying to stick together like a unit, I guess. I feel like they all try to do that every season, but I don't know. This season feels a little different in that way. I like that it's only 6 people too. Anywho, so Angela went in there and told Saucy, because Saucy's like, I'm trying, I'm coming. And so Angela went in there because like, come on, Saucy, we're not leaving you this lot of time. Like, come on. But I'm like, if Saucy's making you late, Saucy will get left. Because let me tell you, I've gotten left when I was younger. My grandma was ready to go to church and I was not ready in the car when she was. I got left, honey. Okay. And then you get talked crazy too when they come home. So Saucy, he lucky, right? Anywho. So they got, Saucy said he making it, he making it to school. All right. So then they go to the media convergent class, I believe that's what it's called. And I forgot that professor's name, but they have another assignment. So basically they're going to the celebrities are going to pair up, but they're going to be in the groups with the regular kids too. And they're going to have town halls for whatever issue that is important to them. So they're going to use their platform to stand on an issue and voice an issue. They're going to be using some of the ideals of Ida B. Wells. For those who don't know who that is, she was a prominent African American female writer in the 1800s, and she wrote about the injustice of a lot of the lynchings of African American men at that time, and she used her voice and her platform to speak on different civil rights issues, and especially when it came to Black people. Okay. And I've read some of Ida B. Wells' work in the past, so that was pretty cool. And they gave some facts about her in the episode, so that we're always learning something on this show, which is really cool. And we're learning African American history on this show. So they are going to. I forgot the quote, and I wanted to remember it. I should have wrote it down or had it ready on my phone like I was planning to. The quote of Ida B. Wells that she said they're going to be focusing on. Anywho, if I can remember it, maybe I'll put it in the comments, or if I find it, if I have time. We'll see. Anywho, so they have to put together a town hall. So they got to go outside, grab a bunch of Gen Z kids. The Gen Z people in college at this point, y'all. Us millennials, ain't too many of us in undergrad. Not that we can't be. It's older people, millennials and above, who are still going to undergrad as well. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's predominantly Gen Zs at the college, right? So they got to grab some Gen Zs they find in the hallway and have a town hall about different issues. And they're going to come back in class and present like a 30-second or quick little PSA on the topic as well, to like encourage people to do whatever they're trying to get them to do, whatever topic they're trying to fight for. So Claudia and Tamar partner up and they get their group, and they're going to talk about voting and the importance of voting. Claudia talks about zoning and redistricting and how they try to take your rights away and all that. And so they did their presentation about going to vote and how important it is. And Claudia said, well, you're going to vote for people who don't rock with you. So they're like, what you going to do? You going to vote, right? So Karlos and Nick, they're in a group together and they talk about women's rights. And so Karlos said, he wants to talk about the women's rights because the Black women been saying that the Black man has not been supporting them in the way that we need to be supported. Very true. So they do their presentation. They talk about Roe versus Wade and women's rights and all that. And I saw, I think online today or yesterday, that it's been a year since Roe versus Wade was overturned. So remember when that happened last year. So it's been a year since that happened, which it's like, man, that year flew by, right? So we got a lot to fight for, y'all. Whatever side you're on when it comes to that issue, right? So then we had Saucy and Angela were in a group together. So Angela felt like Saucy's story would be a good one to tell about why there are not a lot of gay rappers in the rap community, and why is it that allowed. So Saucy shared his story on the show, and he said when he first started, he got a lot of doors slammed in his face. He said people told him he would not be allowed, he would not be accepted, and he had to really grind and prove himself. And now he's made a lot of strides for gay rappers. There's still not a lot of openly gay rappers, right? And he said he's made a lot of, headway in that way. And I believe he has as well. He's pretty popular, right? And so he said, he feels like he could do a lot with the LGBTQ people behind him. So Angela was, telling his story. And so she said she was nervous to get up there and speak, right? But she did well. She spoke, and she was saying how they want to do TikToks and use that as a platform. And I forgot the hashtag they're going to have to bring this issue to light. And side note, on the way to class, Angela and Tamar spoke because Tamar wanted to check in with Angela, aka Black China, about, because she had some issues previously in this class when they were talking about the whole legacy thing and media. And that was a trigger for her. So Tamar's like, let me just check in on you. And Angela was saying how, it's really hard. Sorry, y'all, I forgot to silence my device, child. So hold on. Angela was saying how it's just really hard because she's trying to make changes, but there's certain things she wants to do, but she's scared to do it because people are going to say stuff, even including doing like TikTok videos. She wants to do videos and do stuff on TikTok, but she's scared of what people are going to say. And that just sucks. All right. My heart goes out to her. And Tamar gave her good advice. And she said, you can't live your life not doing what you want to do because of what other people are going to think. Like, and I agree, like, do whatever you want to do on TikTok, Angela. Like, girl, just be you. Like I said, people are going to see your change by your works, right? And they will catch up when they catch up. And there's certain people who are never going to let you change, but you don't have to worry about them. As long as you know you and God, your changes are between you and God, okay? And as long as you're affecting people the right way, that's what matters. Anyway, like I said, she did good with the presentation. The professor also spoke with her and asked her how she's feeling today because, last time was hard. And so Angela said it was just that legacy and media part that was kind of triggering to her. But, professor encouraged her as well. So then after that class, they went to like a room, and the advisor lady, I don't remember her name either, came in to meet with them. They could look downstairs and see everybody's stomping yard, having a good old time. Saucy wanted to be down there. I don't blame them. I would have had to leave and go down there as well. So they were looking down there like, dang, we want to have fun. So the lady came in to check in on them. Tamar says she feels like it's good, but she's not gonna hold you. It's a whole lot of homework. She doesn't expect it to be so much homework at one time. She said she thought you don't get acclimated with class and then you'll get some homework. That'd be me, okay? Every time I'm in school, I'll be out there brand new surprise when the work start picking up. Like, wait, I got a midterm already. I gotta do this already. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. And I'll be like, because the first week I'll be chilling, like, well, I'm just getting the syllabus. I'm just getting to know y'all. Like, I don't really got much to do. Instead of me, like, okay, buckling down, let me get started. So I need to make sure I don't have that mentality this time around. Side note, y'all, while we talking about school, I don't know if I might have mentioned this or hinted at it before, but I am officially going back to school. I start in August. This will be the 100th time I'm going back to school, y'all. So pray for me. But anyway, I'm continuing in the field of education, planning to get my administrative credential as well as an educational doctorate. I was not initially trying to get a doctorate. I've been avoiding a doctorate my whole adult life, but it always seems to keep coming up. And now with this admin program, I kind of have to get it because it's part of the program. So it will be a new challenge, especially with work. But I'm ready to do it and ready to face it. Got to make sure I'm doing better with my time management and prioritizing, which is something I've been trying to work on anyway. So, yeah, it will be time. So I'm not abandoning YouTube. Just so y'all know, I still will try to stay on top of YouTube as well. Some videos may not be right on time. We just bear with me, but I'm going to try to stick with YouTube. Now, if it becomes too much, I will have to let it go because YouTube is not the business that pays me, right? Teaching is. So, but I'm going to try, like I said, to stick with YouTube also. We will see though. Once school starts, we will see. Anywho, but for now, I'm here with y'all. No worries. I'm here. Anywho, back to College Hill. Um, so yeah, they were talking about like, girl, the work's too much. Karlos said this homework is too much. He wanted the teachers to stop giving homework, it's too much. Or so she was like, okay, but this is an accelerated program. Like you guys should have known, like it was going to be a lot. And it is an accelerated program, right? So Claudia was like, yeah, I just wish it was like a balance of, the work and the fun. Like we want to be down there enjoying all that, and we're not able to. And Karlos was getting on the lady about not letting them complain, and she's like, "Why didn't I'm letting you voice your stuff, and I'm just letting you know, like this is how it's school. Like you're getting a certificate at the end of this that's gonna have Xavier's name on it. Like, like she's basically like, it is what it is. Like this is what you signed up for. Basically, she was saying to y'all. Then she started talking about she was like, well, I didn't expect this talk to go this way. And so Tamar was like, oh no, we good. Like we not no issue. So then Karlos said, well, I got a project to do right now. Like basically he ain't got time to talk to like he was being rude. Then she brought up absences, but she said it very general instead of just calling out the person who's been absent the most, which is Saucy. Saucy felt like, okay, she needs to call out everybody, and he didn't like he called her some name in a confessional saying that she being sneaky. Something he said bad about her. I'm like, that was her job, is to address y'all's absences and stuff. Like what? Anywho, Lord. Saucy like he about to be the Ray J of this season. Um all right, so Claudia's thing is like, okay, she's tired of the way Karlos's behavior is. Like, we gotta have a talk with him. So they go back to the house, I believe. And Claudia does pull Karlos aside and tries to have a talk with him about his behaviors and saying, he's being too abrasive and all this. And so he was like, okay, I wasn't fully disagreeing with everything and saying, like, he was giving examples of stuff he was not saying. She's like, it's not your message, it's your tone. And so he feels like he wants to be given the same grace that he gives everyone else. And I'm like, what grace are you giving, Karlos? Like, what are you talking about? And Claudia feels like Karlos really is the nice guy and it's really inside of him, but he's just acting this way. Like he's cross playing to be difficult when he's really not that difficult. And I get that vibe from him as well. Like I think he genuinely is a nice guy, but he very much gives like, I'm gonna purposely be difficult. And I don't like people who purposely go against the grain. Like it's one thing you're standing up for something for real, for a cause, or you really have an issue. But when you just making an issue, or you just going against everything to go against everything and be problematic and difficult, I don't like that. Like, what's the point of it all, right? Go with the flow sometime. So they had that talk. And then later on, I think the next day or so, we see, at some point we see Angela's boyfriend Derek comes to the house. So Derek comes to the house, and him and Angela go meet and talk somewhere. And she says she needed like a familiar face to kind of help her refresh, reset. And she says her being in this house with everything going on and social media, and she's trying to change, and she can feel herself, being pulled in different directions. And he just gave her encouraging words and talked about how, she's out here doing school. She's doing good. She don't have a glam and all that stuff around her. And she says she does miss the kids, that she knows she needs to do this experience. And he talked about, how, she has God in her life and all that stuff. So he really encouraged her. And I'm glad we got to meet and see a little bit more of Derek, because, I was skeptical about him in the first episode, but it's good to see him. He has some pretty eyelashes. And it's like I said, he encouraged her, right? I'm curious to know what he does and how they met. I'm very curious about that. So I believe then at some point we see the cast go to the Convergent House, I believe. Covenant House. So this is a shelter for young people, right? And it's the only one in Louisiana for young people, which is crazy to me. And so Tamar lets us know this is part of their poli-sci assignment. They have to go do the research about the population they will be serving when they write this policy bill, right? So they go to the house to meet the lady. Don't remember her name, but it's very much decorated like Mardi Gras up in there. So she's letting them know like the house welcomes anyone. There's no requirements to be there. Excuse me. They let them come in the house and provide them, meals, a place to stay, and they try to give them resources and all that kind of stuff. And so the people, I guess, who are staying there, the young people came into the room where the cast was, and they got to meet them, and they're telling their stories. There's a pregnant young lady who I guess was born there, and she lived in the Middle East, and she's back. And there's another girl who's been there a couple times. She's an entrepreneur. A young man. Claudia asked about like how did he end up there, and so he was saying he was doing good. He had some kind of vehicle for work, and he ended up getting hit by a truck or eight wheeler or something like that, and he was no longer able to work because he needed that vehicle for work. I was like, dang, like, was there insurance claims? Like, yeah, disability, something. But I mean, I know it's not that simple, and I don't know the story. So it just sucks. And that happens to people all the time, right? They're not able to work, they don't have money, they can't afford to make ends meet. Like, that's a common story. So it just sucks. And I felt bad for him. And he was positive through it all, though. He said he's slept through snow, he's been under the bridges, he's done everything, and now this is opportunity to try to get back on track. And Nick was crying. Everybody's getting emotional, and I was keeping it together until I saw Nick cry. I couldn't take it. I could not take Nick crying. Nick said, just hurt him because they were yet so young, right? And it was painful. And I'm just glad that they do have that place they can go in Louisiana. So they were talking with the people, and Karlos was talking with the young guy that was sharing his story, and he was 23 years old. So Karlos was asking, did he know somebody on social media named Aristotle? And he called the guy on FaceTime and connected the young man with him, and they exchanged numbers, and he told him, you're 23, you have your whole life ahead of you. And everything did kind of start to change Karlos's heart right in that moment. And Karlos was telling him, this is not your final stop. You got your whole life ahead of you. This is just a bus stop. You're gonna go on to do bigger and better things. So Karlos poured into him, and Claudia and everybody was happy to see, Karlos, you could see he had a change of heart in the moment. And it was really good. That was like one of the best scenes of this episode. And one of the best scenes of this season so far, I would say. Saucy also met with a young man. I didn't catch his name, but he's also in the community as well with Saucy, the LGBTQ. And so, he's just telling Saucy how he's an inspiration to him and how he looks up to him. And Saucy said he reminded him of when he was younger, right? And Saucy was saying, he didn't always have his family support, and he doesn't now, but they grew up, rough. Excuse me. He would come home with the lights not on. Excuse me. Something was in my throat, y'all. Excuse me. I was saying that hold on, I need a little more water. Hold on, y'all. I was saying that Saucy was saying he would come home to no lights and things like that. So they struggled, but he was able to help, turn that around. Of course, now because he's making money, okay? So Saucy was really touched by his story. And like I said, Karlos was talking to the young man, and he was holding the baby. Angela held the baby. Angela said she was really moved and touched by their stories as well. And it's true, like, your life can change in an instant. You could end up just like that, right? Anything can happen. So we just, have to uplift those people in our prayers and our thoughts. But like I said, that was a really good scene. Then lastly, everybody's at the house trying to do homework. We see Saucy getting Carl's his girlfriend. And Claudia was saying, I had to check him, girl. Sorry, respectfully. I had to check him. And so she was like, you guys can check him all the time. She basically confirmed that Karlos likes to try to be difficult. And she's like, other people were saying it. So Claudia was like, she's glad the girlfriend, agree with her. But Karlos said he got to go, make sure everybody doing their homework. He ain't calling her on FaceTime on this show again. He was very much breaking the fourth wall, but I'm okay with that at this point. So Saucy said he going to go get a tutor. Now in the preview, I thought he was saying tuna. And I was like, tuna like a slang or new word for like hooking up with somebody. I was like, I've never heard of that. So I didn't know he was saying tutor until I was watching this episode. I was like, oh, he's saying tutor. That makes way more sense than tutor, right? So he said he gonna get him a tutor, but he put on makeup. Karlos was like, where the hell you going? You putting all that makeup on, boy? And so he's like, I'm gonna go meet with tutor. So Karlos was like, oh, okay, he's really trying to be serious. He's like, I see him taking a bunch of shots, but that's his business. So anyway, I'm like, he ain't about to meet with no tutor. So Nick was like, it's past tutoring hours though, because it was late at night. So Tamar's like, okay, well, he's trying to get help, but he putting on his outfit, trying to show off that BBL. He got his face done. He taking shots. Karlos was like, okay, but do you have all the assignments and stuff? You know what you need to do? He's like, oh yeah, Claudia sent me everything. Claudia sent me everything. And he's like, I can't have a tutor here because the energy here is wrong. So I got to go meet up with the tutor. So Tamar seen on social media that he's meeting in the tutor in the club. He ain't getting tutored. He backing it up in the club and throwing money and drinking, right? He said in the confessional that, he was not getting, his tutor was a tall, handsome black man who had money. I said, Saucy, what are you doing? So they was like, no, like this is no. So I think that's where the episode ended, is where Saucy is out getting tutoring, right? Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought of that episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We are done with our Friday nights never ever met. However, Karlos King does have a new show coming on OWN starting tomorrow night. I think it's like Family Empire Houston, something like that. I think I probably will review it. I'll check it out first and see, but I most likely will review it, y'all. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.